your name and what do you do?
Hi, I'm Don Henderson. I'm the consultant clinical scientist and the head of the Department of Immunology.
What does your job entail?
Oh, well, that means that I have to make sure that I've got sufficient staff to do all of the work that comes into the laboratory on a day-to-day basis. I have to, more long term, I have to plan and make sure that we don't overspend our budgets.
Do you have to study a lot?
Oh, I've had a long and varied career before I came into this job. I went to university and actually I found that partying and socialising and everything else was much more for me, and so I was asked to leave university because I didn't make the correct exam results. And so I ended up actually teaching school for a year, which was great fun. I enjoyed working with the kids and everything else. And then I went back to university, and this time I knew what to expect, and I worked a lot harder than I had done in the past. And I came out with an honours degree in zoology, actually, which wasn't actually what I was intending to do. But as part of my zoology degree, I got involved in immunology. And because of that, I then decided that that was what my career was going to be. And I looked around and I did a PhD, did a Doctor of Philosophy in Immunology at the University of Glasgow. So after I graduated from my degree in immunology, and I did that as on a part-time basis, working as a clinical scientist in the department, I then headed off to Australia to get some more experience and to work in other environments. And after a time in Australia, I came back to work in London, where I thought I would stay for about 3 years or 5 years maximum before I would head either back up to Scotland or go back to Australia. But I've been in London ever since. I worked for a while in industry. I worked for one of the big pharmaceutical companies developing their allergy treatments, vaccinations and immunisations against allergy in patients. And that was quite exciting and very good. And then I moved back to working in the NHS by joining the bone marrow transplant programme at the Westminster Children's Hospital. There we treated children with a variety of inherited diseases, and we tried to repair these by giving them a brand new blood system by doing the bone marrow transplants, and that was very successful. And subsequently I've taken over the management and the running of the whole of the immunology department.
What do you like doing in your spare time?
Well, I think it's very important to work very hard, but it's also important that you actually should play very hard. So I enjoy socialising with my friends, going to the pub, having the odd drink, but I love playing sports. So I've played competitive squash. I'm also an avid skier, and because I was doing my PhD up in Scotland, it meant that I was able to ski every single weekend in the winter. And so I was able to take my skiing to a higher level, and now I am actually a volunteer guide, and I take people on big excursions through the mountains in the winter, and that's something I've been able to maintain throughout my period here. I like to take my holidays, so I like to work hard during the week, and then at the weekends, for instance, I like to switch off totally and do other things. And whilst I'm in London, what I do is I sail a small boat on the Thames between Putney and Hammersmith Bridge, and that's great fun. We race up and down the river in strong winds, and occasionally we capsize the boat and have to swim in the Thames.
What do you like most about your job?
I've been very lucky in that all of the people that have worked with me and for me have been hard-working and dedicated. They've been really interested and turned on by science. They like to investigate a problem and find that solution. I take great delight in looking at the people who have worked with me. One of them has recently gone off to become a professor in Dundee. Another has gone off to grow cellular organs in the test tube in another hospital, looking to transplant defective kidneys and livers in patients. So it's very, I take great delight in having worked with such interesting and exciting people.